this was really a nice conversation. I
Yes,
just
it was.
love it. I just love it. And I think keep it up. And you should also encourage your friends. Those who have problems can always talk to you, and then we sort this out.
Yes, Mommy. I'm so happy we had this conversation. Thank you for sharing with me.
I'm also so happy that you managed to trust me enough to open up and we discuss such pertinent issues. Never hesitate to tell me anything. I'm always there for you and I will support you, my daughter.
But Mommy, when I grow up, how do I know that a man has genuine intentions for me?
Now, of course. Yes, Paul. Oh, Dennis.
Yes.
Good to see you.
Yes. How are you?
How have you been?
I'm okay.
Please take a seat.
Thank you.
Hello, Uncle.
Hello.
You found us in the middle of something really interesting. We earlier talked with Jotham, but I think he has stepped out. Where is your brother?
He has gone to sleep.
Oh, I think because of the other disappointment.
Yes.
Now, this young lady is interested in knowing, how do you know that a relationship that you're in is really genuine or somebody starting something really genuine? But I want to base it on my own relationship. I remember when I was in my final year at university, I met this Prince Charming. I'm talking about your father. And in the relationship was so good. He was patient with me. He never forced me into anything. And I'm talking to you, my son. True love waits. You don't need to force these girls into sex when they are not ready. You need to talk. You need to listen. Do you understand, my son? So that people don't take you to be a player, as she was telling me this morning. So, in order to find out really, you watch his behavior. Does he force you into what you don't want? Is he introducing you to what you call weird stuff? So if you realize that, there is danger. You remember, Dennis, I told you about when I was meeting my husband. Things were so nice, and finally, we had you, and we are happy. So we want to make sure that you get to know about some of these things before you get into life commitments. And remember, true love waits. Paul, you hear me?
Yes.
Don't force people's girls into sex. Do you have a girlfriend by now? I know you're not telling me the truth, but I know you can discuss that with Uncle. Maybe Uncle can tell you more about some of these things. Uncle.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, if I was to be in your shoes, I would first of all want to look at, the knowledge of the other person, yeah? Does he know, like, for example, that the other type of relationship comes with effects, okay? If he's aware of, for example, if he engaged you in sex and then it could result into unwanted pregnancy, and if it's this guy who is blind about all that, then that person would not begin with. For example, we know that relationship itself is a process. Okay? If this is the person who looks at you today and tomorrow he says I love you, and the other day he's in for sex, that man or that guy is not genuine enough. Okay? Look at the respect. Can that person be able to respect your values, for example? If you're communicating to him that, just like my sister says, that love waits, can he be able to wait? Or he's this kind of a guy or a lady in your situation who says, no, mine is today. Without it today, then I'm not there. Okay? So probably what we also need to know about that, for you to be able to undergo through all that, you also need to have certain skills. Yeah?
And maybe there's also another thing these children need to know. There are certain things that happen And that help you to realize that the relationship in which you are is unhealthy. For example, if someone always forces you to do what you don't want, please note it is not good. If somebody always wants you to compromise and does not compromise in your favor, then there is a problem. In case you realize that there is any form of violence, my son, stay away from such a relationship because it is not good. And then you may even ask yourself, how do I end such a relationship? First of all, you decide. You decide and say, I have to move on. Stay away from that person. Don't even give him a chance to say that, you see, we can be friends, because that person is leading you into what you don't want. Now, my beautiful daughter, look at yourself. My only daughter. Imagine yourself being dragged into a relationship where somebody forces you into sex and you get pregnant. I don't know what the world would be for me. And now, young man, don't you think these things happen to girls alone? These things happen to boys as well. And I think the world has neglected our boys. I need to tell you, there are some girls there who can force you into what you don't want. Paul, when you realize that, say no. I know, and through experience, I very well know that sex is very tempting. And your bodies are so active right now. And once you get into it, sometimes it even becomes addictive. Do you understand, my children?
Yes, Mommy.
So when as we conclude this, I want us to have self-respect. Sometimes we say, especially on the side of you boys, you always feel it's an achievement to have so many girls. Not so. I mean, those other boys there, don't they? Tell me the truth. You're not sure, but I'm telling you, yeah. These boys feel they have achieved. But let me tell you, there is something you call privacy. You always tell me, Mommy, don't come to my room because I need my privacy. The moment you go on exposing yourself to girls, your privacy is totally gone, my son. And when you grow up, I don't think you'll get a decent woman to marry because they would have branded you a player. She told me about all those new words. And I have learned, and I am catching up, I'm up to speed. We really had a very good conversation. So, at the end of it all, my children, I want us to grow up into mature people who are reasonable, mature people who are admired by everyone, mature people who can make decisions. You see how beautiful you are?
Yes, Mommy.
She's such a beautiful sister. Not so. Yes, ma'am. So what I want you to be are people who are respected in society. So before others respect you, you have to respect yourself. So I know that as we grow up, in the journey to maturity, we have feelings, we have emotions, but there is a way that we can control. We are not animals. We have controls. We can engage in sports, we can engage in things that we enjoy, we can socialize, but we don't need to specialize so early because it is not the right time. You hear, my children?
Yes.
I will be a proud mother, and Uncle will be so proud of you if Dad walked you down the aisle to the right man when you're still a virgin. And to you, virginity is not only for girls. Purity is for all of us, including you. And that girl will also be so proud of you, and she will have trust. Remember, my children, everything has its own time, but true love waits. So let us wait.
Thank you, baby, for the advice.
I'm glad you listened, my daughter. My son. My daughter.
Yes, ma'am.
I know there may come a time when you cannot tell me some of these things, as you grow up, and you fear telling me specific things. In the neighborhood, there is a health center, and there are counselors. So you can always get more information there, because part of the information I may not be able to provide at that time. But I'm so proud of you.
Let you go.